Welcome to Disrupt Everything podcast series with Isra Garcia, an uncategorizable space for uncategorizable people. Reinvent yourself.
Hi everyone, this is Isra Garcia. I'm back home in the Shaolin Temple Europe for 5th year, and I'm having he's probably the guest I interviewed the most. And I never like the things I want to share and I want just to ask never ends for me. So I'm very excited to have here in the Shaolin Temple Europe Headmaster Shi Heng Yi from the Shaolin Temple, coming from the 35th generation of Shaolin Masters. And thank you for granting me this chance again to interview you.
Welcome back to the 5th time now. Always have new questions.
Yes, and this time we wanted to, because first interview was about the path to self-mastery. I remember that we were there, it started raining, and we will continue with the rain. Second interview was about the keys for self-mastery. And the third question was about what do you need to do to improve yourself? Mm-hmm. The third question we wanted to change a little bit, and so we decided to take some of the most interesting questions that the people left in the comments, in the interviews, in YouTube, and some of the questions are broad, new, some of the questions from the practice, and a final rapid fire question.
Ooh.
So
rapid fire.
Yes, but different from the other ones, because I remember I did it, and everybody, the rapid fire questions, please. So, my first question is from the audience. When I interview you first time, and I remember I say, what's the book that has impacted you the most? You tell me, I don't read books. So, people were asking why he doesn't read books. So my question is, why don't you read books, Shifu?
So let's correct it. 2024 right now, let's correct it a little bit. So meanwhile, I do sometimes read some books, which can be books that somebody, for example, recommended to me, just to have a look at it and just maybe to expand maybe also the perspective how other people can look at different challenges, let's say, to just have another perspective how you can then maybe cope with them or handle them. So if it is right now any type of book that in a way I'm reading, mostly it must be something that, let's put it like this, that is functional. It's just like I said before, I don't read books, but in my life I read a lot of manuals. Manuals about all type of things, how to repair something or whatever it is. So I prefer, if I'm reading something, that it needs to be functional, meaning also that it gives me some ideas, give me some perspective that before that I didn't have. So there is no reason exactly before I didn't hate books. It's just not my favorite first source where I get the answers from. So mainly my first source of if I have any type of question in regards to this life, in regards to a person, in regards to a problem, then mostly I just observe. So my first source of getting answers is just by observation. So I observe the person, I observe the situation, I observe myself, and based on that already, until now, to a big part, I already got the answers to the question I was asking, just by being more attentive, being more conscious, being more aware, staying with myself, trying to find the answers in myself. And this is why it was never really a necessity to look for any type of additional source to get answers.
being said that, is there any piece or manual or book that stood up from the rest? Even if it's the cooking sushi or like making pasta?
No, it's not necessarily like I don't have a specific ones, but you know, I like technical manuals.
Okay. Another question that was coming from the audience is, so in the second interview, that was more, let's say, romantic, let's put it that way, when we started talking about love, forgiveness, you were mentioning about love, forgiveness, and somebody asked, do you have any personal experience on forgiveness and how this has been applying into your life, or how have you put it into practice?
No, first of all, what maybe is like just good to also observe is every time when you are coming and then you ask for interview and we have a talk, sometimes the topics are really different. You know, and I have to say that it always depends on in which state actually I am also. So that means it can happen that maybe you invite me somewhere and say, okay, Shifu, today do something with a lot of wisdom. Yeah, but if on that day I don't have it, yeah, then it's just not going to happen. Yeah. Or so what it means is sometimes I can only, or I used to give you all the time, all the topics that in the moments when you are asking me questions and we have the conversations that anyway somehow are playing a role in my life already. Yeah, and now that you ask, for example, about forgiveness, yeah, it's not directly related, but I have a few things that now since at least a few decades, like I'm also processing, carrying along with me. You know? And there, for myself, you know, I came to a few conclusions. For example, you know, in Buddhist teachings, you very often hear that it's important, like, to have compassion. Yeah, that is actually a very important virtue, an important character trait to develop compassion for you. So, but now the question is, what is it that you are regarding as compassion? So does it mean that, let's say, I take us. Yeah, wherever we go, always you make some type of mistake. You always make some type of mistake, which, like, let's say, makes me unhappy. Okay? But instead of telling you, you know, what is you know, you go your way and I go my way because somehow this is not harmonic. You know? Then you could say, okay, because I should have compassion, so that means I should have an understanding for you that even if you are making the mistakes, but maybe you're not making these mistakes, first of all, consciously, and second of all, maybe you are doing these mistakes because you are just not skillful enough in order to not do them. Okay? So on the one side, it means there is a difference if I'm taking it personally, if you are failing in a way. And all the time before, I was also thinking, okay, does compassion mean I leave you as you are and just accept the fact that you are as you are, I cannot change that? Or is compassion maybe even connected to something additionally, something else? So, and there was one small missing link probably. That is quite changing this idea of also compassion and of forgiveness. So first of all, when we do something and you make a mistake, first of all, I don't take it personally. So at the same time, it means there is nothing personally in a way that I need to forgive you. Yeah, because this is not because maybe it would be another person. You go with another person, but with the other person you do the same mistake. So that means the mistake is there, but it's not related just happening with me. It would happen to anyone. So that's why, first of all, your mistake, I don't take it personally. If you don't take it personally, if I don't take it personally, it opens for me much better my mind, and also makes it way more easy to also open my heart at the same time, to try and feel inside yourself and feel inside this situation, okay, what can I really, really do for you to one day not make that mistake again? So, and that could also mean, for example, that it's very compassionate, that I'm telling you straight and very direct, because maybe that's the only way how you understand. Okay, so listen, this is the third time that we go out. It's the third time you're making the same mistake. Yeah, it's time to do something about it, and not just like accepting it. Even if I know when I'm gonna tell you this, you may be gonna get hurt. You may be even gonna say, you know what, Shifu, then I don't want to be friends with you anymore. Yeah, we cut the line. But the thing is like this. This friendship is not really important. The friendship is not important. The important part is that you don't get stuck and I don't get stuck. Yeah? So that means you can have a very close friendship with someone, but both of you always remain somehow stuck in the life, stuck emotionally, stuck mentally. So even if you think, yeah, but this is a real friendship, so, but in the wider sense of the universe, I think, yeah, and this is my personal view, I think there is a mission in this lifetime also, let's call it like this. And the mission is to always overcome your own limits and let's say become lighter, have less problems internally also, which means there is constant change. The mission in this life is to constant change towards the betterment. So whatever it is, whoever is in contact with me, whatever decisions I'm taking right now, I always try to see what is it that is in my hands that I can do that betterment starts to arise. And sometimes this betterment also means that in the first moment it needs to hurt sometimes. Now, so that also means, let's say you're together in a relationship with someone and you just realize it's a very toxic relationship. Yeah, nobody of you somehow is getting happy. Yeah, but still nobody is like strong enough yet to break free from it. Yeah, but what it means is it's going to be very painful maybe at some point, but afterwards when the separation is clean, then both of you are going to move on again. But to remain in something just because you don't want to face the pain, well, the only thing is going to happen is it's going to eat you from the inside. That's what I think. So, yeah, and this is where I see how forgiveness, compassion, and still trying to help, yeah, for the overall well-being of like all the beings like in this world, where it comes into play.
Thank you, Shifu. Two questions more of the audience that were, believe it or not, very like repeated for some. The first one, and I'm taking it literally, is people were asking if they're very curious about if it's possible to be living in a monastery and get married.
Yes. So no.
And the last one, you're gonna love this one, but I'm saving it for later.
So, you know, times have changed, yeah? Times have changed from ancient times until right now, modern times, 21st century. Right now, the place where we are, this is called a monastery. But it's not this place that makes it a monastery. It is the mindset of the people that come here. It is the mindset of the people that live here which is making it to a monastery. Okay? So that means the question is, what is it that you are relating with the mind to this type of place, and also then to the practices that we have inside this monastery? So, and the point is again, just like this. You can have a temple, you can have a monastery, and then somebody from the outside comes in here, but the whole time in his head is only about, I want to make party, I want to go out, meet people, yeah, I want to go out, go to the cinema, I want to go out, drink alcohol. No, yeah, this is one extreme.
Too much.
Yeah, but so physically somebody is here, but in the mindset is this type of mindset. Then it's a complete waste of his lifetime to stay here right now. But the people that understand what is a monastery about, they understand, okay, normally outside there in the world, I have to take care of my family. I have to have a job. I have many different type of distractions every day. But when you are coming here, actually, you don't have any distractions if you don't want to have them. Because the food, the monastery is cooking for you. Yet the beds, we are organizing for you. The training, we are providing with you. So your only obligation when you come to this place is be open and learn. Be open, learn, and develop yourself. So the point is, somebody who comes inside a monastery or goes into a temple and doesn't want to develop himself, well, it's the wrong place to be. Yeah? At the same time, it means somebody who lives out there in a normal household, not even like in a temple or monastery, but who continuously understands, okay, I do something, I observe it, I learn from it, I start to grow using my normal life out there. Such a person has more monastery and has more temple inside of him than somebody who is here and just feels himself locally being at such a place, but the heart is not in the monastery and the mind is not in the monastery. So bottom line is, therefore, it is for me absolutely no contradiction that you have people living inside of the monastery and at the same time being married. Because it's the mindset that makes the difference. It's not the what, it is the how. In which state of being are you when you are here? In which state of being are you when you are with your family? In which state of being are you when you are at work? And the only, and this is the nice part, where also in these ancient traditions we sometimes say, there is no temple outside of you. There is no Shaolin temple outside of you. Yeah? The real temple that you need to cultivate, the real temple you need to pray to, the real temple you need to take care of you is your internal, personal temple. You are the temple.
Inside, as you were saying in the final training today.
Yeah, this is it. Because once you cultivate this type of temple, it doesn't matter where you're going, you can't lose it. But if you come here and you think this is the temple, and then afterwards you leave back to Spain or you leave back to somewhere else in the world, so what does it mean? Suddenly like the temple is lost, or doesn't make sense. Yeah. So this is where I think this is the perspective.
This last question of the audience was the most asked question. So
I'm gonna love it, you say.
you're gonna love it. And I believe this is the fourth interview. I believe I have the sense of right to ask you that question. So people ask, are you in love, or have you ever been in love, like romantic love? What is your take on romantic love? Because the second interview we talk about like love. Like I ask you, what is love for you, right? And
also after the training when we had this conversation, I said like very practically, our lifetime with this body is limited. One day it's gonna end. So the question is, what can I possibly do with my remaining lifetime where I would say that it was worth living this life? Yeah, relating it to what is it for you that determines the quality of life? So, and of course, the quality of life, or a very nice experience, a very nice memory, a very nice situation, is of course also what you were mentioning, to sometimes maybe have a person that you share these romantic moments with. Yeah, because somebody who has never had the chance to experience something like this, I would definitely say something in your life experience is missing. Yeah, but it is one type of experience existing amongst 100,000 of other also beautiful experiences. Yeah, the same like if you would ask me, so you choose romantic love or jumping from the airplane? It's really difficult for me to tell you. Both of them is very different from each other, but both of them I would definitely say you should feel it. And so, yeah.
Okay, so thank you for asking. Thank you for replying this question. Now I have some questions I brought for you. But first ones are from the training age, which is why regulating. You know, for two questions that I took from the trainings, the forms, you know, the practices. First one is why regulating the breathing is so important, and how can we regulate it in a way that benefits our life? Because this is I think for me, the main take for me.
So, water, yeah, just water, the drinking water, the tea. Tea is not good and tea is not bad. Tea is just tea. But if you drink too much of it, it can become bad. If you maybe don't drink any type of liquid or any type of tea, maybe this is also not good for you. Too much of something is not good, too less of something is also not good. So that means I need to learn and regulate when it comes to tea drinking. Too much is not good, too less is not good. That's why I need to adjust it. No sleeping, not good. Too much sleeping, not good. So I have to learn to regulate my sleeping cycle. Too much eating, not good. Too less eating, also not good. So it's there also, it's about regulation. It's about balance. Regulating, balancing. Okay. But now, especially in the field of when we talk about martial art training, where it's about martial art, learning how to fight, learning how to punch, learning how to kick, learning how to throw, learning how to grab, all of these things, it is learning to use your body in the most efficient way without wasting energy. Okay? But in order that a technique is working, in order that your punch is like working, it needs the proper adjustment of that energy. So that means that energy regulation, the adjustment of energy in general anyway already is an important topic, but in the martial arts it's even more important. Because in the martial art, you're asking yourself to do something that an average human normally is not asking for. Yeah? You want to punch harder than the rest of the people. You want to punch quicker than many other people. So that means you're asking something more than the average person would do. So if you're asking for more, then it means your ability to regulate your energy must also be at another level than an average person. So it comes to the question of, okay, so what does regulating energy mean? And this I'm not sure, but I think I answered it already for you one time, the 3 areas which are the quickest ways to have an effect on our energy level. Number 1 is the diet, number 2 is your lifestyle, and number 3 is the way how you are handling your breathing. You want to change something about your energy, the diet, the lifestyle, and then really the breathing exercises. And the more refined you become what actually is possible to do with your breath, the more you can have an effect on your energy system, let's call it like this, on the energy that is available to you, on the energy that you can then mobilize, and on the energy that you can then use to put them into the techniques that you learn in the field of martial arts. So that this is the connection that I see between breathing, energy, physicality, and martial arts.
This brings me to the second question of the training practice is, you say that Qigong is a way to skillfully use the energy for life force. So how can we apply this? How can we apply this to our daily life? Like, because I find very interesting something like, like considering everything you do as a Qigong movement. And that was very fascinating for me. I got to a house, I integrated a lot, I was writing about it, because somehow it's something you were sharing about.
If we do martial art, who is making the martial art? Well, it's still like we need the body to do a martial art. So that's why at the moment I'm saying that if the body is doing the martial art and you want to improve your martial art, you need to improve the abilities of your body. And how do you improve the abilities of your body? By refining yourself in order to understand more precise what is this body actually, what does it involve, what is everything related to the body. The more fine you become about the body, the better you can regulate it, the better you can use it. The more refined you become of what this complete life is consisting of the weather, of the earth, of the heaven, of the people, of you, of your hobbies, of your work, of your food, of your sleeping, the more refined you become about in what are you in this lifetime embedded, what is everything connected actually to life itself, the more refined you become, the better you can adjust this life. So for me, this similarity between you want to become good with the body, refine the body. You want to become good in this life, refine your life. But the principle is the same. It's about refinement. It's about becoming more sensitive for things that are already here. They're already here, but we don't pay attention to them. It's the same like to your body. Yeah, I ask you, can you feel your skeleton right now? You say maybe no. Yeah, you say no, but the fact is it's all the time there. I cannot separate the skeleton from your meat. The only difference is it's all the time there. You don't realize it, but I realize it. So it's the same like in this lifetime. Yeah, it's not even about that you are creating something new. No, it's just about that you are becoming more fine for something that anyway, since your birth, is here already. It's just that you haven't been fine enough, or the mind was like flying around too much or busy with other stuff out there that it didn't matter to you. So refinement suddenly means that you feel, okay, even the wind right now that is blowing on the skin, even that actually matters for my well-being. Even that like 6 days long it was sunny, one day it was raining, even that matters. Refinement, become more fine. There's nothing happening in this universe that is not connected to our being. So, and this is where then martial art training and spiritual development for me is like goes hand in hand. Yeah.
The new questions I have for you. First one is, what is the balance of your greatest successes in your life? So what would you say is a balance of the great things you ever done in your life up until now?
No, I don't understand the
Like
question.
if you were about to see all the things you've done, all the successes you made in this lifetime, what will be like the conclusion of all of this?
Yeah, see, this is, for example, also a very interesting question. Maybe a few years back, I would have still like answered, yeah, I did a lot of these things, I built up a lot of these things. But meanwhile, I just see it actually as I followed something, I put my energy in, and then the results come. But right now, I can hear there's the call is different. Yeah, so many years before, maybe it felt like, you know, I need to build up, build up, build up. My focus right now is not on building up anymore. So yeah, right now I feel the call is a different one, because building up, I know how to do it. Yeah, this challenge is, in a way, is finished for me, which is now the reason why I also start to pass on all of these things to my disciples, to the other masters, so that they now start getting into that stage in their life where they are learning to build up. I have the feeling I don't need to learn anymore how to build up. Now it's finished, this lesson. Now is something else I need to learn. Yeah, and literally, and this is the truth and this is the balance of life, just as you learn to build something up, like that you learn to let go.
And this is the call you're feeling right now?
This is definitely the call, because elsewise the balance is not going to happen.
Thank you.
No, but it doesn't mean it's bad, yeah?
No,
means it's something new.
Of course. First, I'm gonna stop here for this, because most of the listeners and subscribers for the podcast and the YouTube channel are Spanish. So we have very good news. So I have one of the first book signed not in Spanish, not yet, but there's a book in Spanish from Master Shi Heng Yi called El Camino Shaolin, about ancestral habits for a modern life, hábitos milenarios para una vida moderna, and it's also in Spanish, it's also in English, so I'll make sure I put the links in the podcast, in the show notes, so you can get it. After this, and I have no affiliate, of course, to the book. My next question is, what mistake you have repeated the most?
Waiting too long. Waiting too long to put something into practice. Like I know what needs to be done, but then it's just like I know what needs to be done, but I don't do it. Yeah. So in general, if there's something that at the moment I just feel like I need to improve myself, it's in this area. So there is something wrong in your life. It needs to be fixed at some point. Don't wait for next week. Don't wait for the months afterwards. Already figure out right now, if you know already that is what is going wrong right now, already what is the action plan to tackle it. Yeah, even if this waiting is just a 5 days waiting, it's 5 days too long. Because anyway, these are things, they're gonna always come and come again, yeah? And it just became more clear, very much, yeah? You can't postpone these things.
What has been the I was wondering, what has been the opportunity that you have taken most advantage of, and how?
at some point, together with all this philosophy, similar like in the training, I know when it starts hurting, when it starts burning, when like the mind is like challenged, this is the greatest opportunity right now for you to learn something, for you to like expand beyond yourself. And sometimes to realize when you are meeting a person, and this person, for example, is like, I don't know, you don't need to like that person, but you feel that person somehow has an impact on you, and it is like triggering something inside of you. This is the chance. If a situation comes up, if a person pops up in your life, you don't need to like them. But if you feel like somehow they're triggering something inside of you, so they can change your inside, that means this is your master. This is your teacher. Yeah? And so these are the chances. It's not the chances that somebody gives you like the lottery win and you're happy about it. Well, everybody likes this.
And everybody can take advantage, right?
Yeah. But like the real hidden treasures, the hidden value is all of the, let's say, the bad stuff that happens to you on a daily basis also. Because the bad stuff, why are they bad? Yeah, because you think they are bad, because you feel like they are bad. So it only means that this situation or this person still can control you. Yeah, so you take the situation and start to learn in such a way that something like this cannot happen anymore. That something on the outside here is controlling you.
What is the biggest lesson on wisdom that you have ever taken from life so far?
Even if you know and these sentences are out there, it's not just to hear that we know nothing. It's not that I'm telling you, Isra, there's so much knowledge existing in this world, we can never know everything. You can say, yes, true. But it's different than really, I don't know how to say. However intelligent you think you have become, no matter how good you have developed yourself, no matter how much time you have invested in any type of investigation or research, this life, this existence, always shows you things that are not possible from your mind to even imagine something like this is existing. We know nothing. Yeah? And this also means that despite all the fact of trying to improve ourselves, trying to control our life, trying to make the best of our life, all of these things, yes, it's a good approach, it's good for like having this type of mindset, but ultimately it's this life which is going to decide which journey any of us is going to go. It's not in our hands.
Last question before the rapid fire questions is, how will you put together all the cards? So that's for somebody that is listening the interview or watching. So from the knowledge you have, from the experience you have, how will you put together all the cards to be successful in life, to whatever successful in life means, as we just saw in the practice?
So, and this is what I think you also answered. You actually gave the answer already to your question. I cannot determine what is success for everyone. You know, so, you know, somebody says, well, success is to be rich. Okay, then after you're rich, you realize, okay, that's not it. Other people say successful is to have many children. Maybe then you have many children and then you still say, okay, that's not it. Yeah? So success at some point is also related to the question, how many things, how much experience do you actually already have in this lifetime? Have you been rich already? Did you have a family already? Yeah? Did you do this, do that already? Did you possess this and that already? So, that means already by the fact of how much have you done in this lifetime, experiential wise, can already determine what success can be and what it is not. So, okay. But because we are so many people in this world, and not everybody is having like the same experience, and not everybody had the same chances to actually try out all the different type of experiences. At the end, there's only one thing that we all in a way have in common, regardless of what we are doing. And this in a way I would call your sense for the quality of life. And how do you know that something is worth living? Because it feels right. So feels right means, what is it that can feel? Well, probably I would right now easily say it's your heart that feels. But if the heart is closed, you feel nothing. If the heart is open, you feel a lot. So at the moment, if you ask me what to look for in order to have like success, what is successful? It is that you're spending the most times walking through this lifetime with an open heart. The more open the heart, the more successful your journey. The more closed your heart, well, then it's also a success, but then it's the success of the devil. Because he succeeded to close the heart.
Yeah, thank you. We go to the rapid fire questions. First, what's been the most impactful experience of your 2023?
2023. Yeah, I really think it was the amount of traveling, that I realized so much traveling in 2023 we don't need anymore.
And the most surprising experience so far in 2024?
The realization that it's time to let go.
In your experience, the most important skill for nowadays, and why?
Adaptability to circumstances. Yeah?
What's the practice? What's a single practice that helps you the most in your daily life?
Stay calm.
How do you apply that?
Practice.
Is there any learning in these past months that has made a difference on you? And if so, which one and why?
To find the proper balance, how much to remain with what you think you have built up, what you think that which is good about your work. So how much of not losing yourself, but also how much of giving of yourself in order to benefit more than yourself. So on the one side, if you give everything about you, then apparently you lose yourself. If you don't want to lose yourself, that means you always pay attention that you don't give anything out too much. And to find this balance, how to not lose yourself, but at the same time benefiting more than just yourself. This is a very, very difficult. Balance, or a very difficult question, I have to say.
A small habit that you recommend to anyone that is important?
Yeah. Number one is to first of all maybe really ask some pretty essential questions about this lifetime. First of all, it can be the question, where do we come from, where do we go, what is the sense of life? Ask this question. So, yeah. And based on that, when you then come up with the conclusion, okay, don't waste my lifetime, then how are you going to make it? So break it down, but that everything that you are doing on a daily basis is still in the big perspective of the answer that you gave to yourself, what is the sense of life? So whatever you are doing, does it still fit into that wider perspective when you ask yourself the question, what is the sense of life? What's the purpose of life? What is my mission? What am I supposed to do? Where am I going to go? Yeah. Every single action, even drinking this tea right now, does it still fit into your bigger, wide perspective? So,
And last question, what would be your final message to everyone listening or watching this interview, people that already know you, people that doesn't? What would you say to them?
yeah.
To me too.
Just stay in touch with Isra Garcia, because next year he's going to come again and then he's going to get the 6th interview.
Thank you so much, Shifu, for another wonderful interview. Thank everyone for being in the podcast. This is Disrupt Everything, where we dissect and deconstruct world performers, world top performers, world disruptors, as Master Shi Heng Yi and many others. And the journey continues.
Thank you for listening to the Disrupt Everything podcast series with Isra Garcia. You can listen to the podcast on any podcast platform or on isragarcia.s/podcast, where you'll find interviews with Seth Godin, Robin Sharma, Wim Hof, Kevin Kelly, Stephen Kotler, Joseph Akram, Great Modern Stoics, Zen Masters, Shaolin Masters, Hollywood actors, New World sages, and many other disruptors, plus solo episodes with Isra. And the journey continues.